Our app, Indoor Nav, allows students to easily find their classroom at The Ohio State University. So, how does someone use Indoor Nav? Once they sign in, they'll be met with a screen, like the one pictured on the left. They select the building that they're in, and then they'll be prompted to take a picture within that building and enter the room number that they'd like to go to. After that, Indoor Nav will use its analysis tools to generate the shortest possible path from point A to point B, and it'll generate a map similar to the one on the right that tells the user how to get from where they currently are to the room they're going to. This is much better than a static map of the building because it can show the user the best possible route, rather than the user having to identify both points on the map and then identify the best path. Now that we know how to use Indoor Nav, let's see one student putting its features into action.
Man, I gotta get to my next class. I've got this map, but it's so confusing. I don't know where to go. Oh wait, I remember. I have this app called Indoor Nav. I just take a picture of where I am. The app asks me where I want to go, and then I go.
And here we have an example of the app Indoor Nav. So first we'll sign in. And then as you can see, we have a bunch of different buildings. And so for this example, we'll choose Bulls Hall. And then we'll choose only this time and type in our room number that we're trying to go to. Then we'll take a picture of the location we're at, and it'll load a map for us. As you can see, it takes us from our starting point to the place we want to go.
The key things that we've learned from this project are that there are multiple ways to use AI to improve navigation technology. When we first began, we intended to take pictures of multiple locations with the building and then compare the user's picture to that in order to figure out where they were. But after some trial and error, we discovered that it would be much more effective to use image analysis and extract text to find out where the user is. This is because Ohio State's academic buildings have a lot of text in their hallways that can be used to identify the user's location. Another thing that we learned is that precision is extremely important to navigate an indoor space. GPS drift is an issue with some navigation technologies, but when you're driving or even walking outside a long distance, it's really not that big of a deal because you know about where you are, and about where you are is typically good enough. But for indoor navigation in small spaces, being 50 feet off can mean a huge difference, and having these imprecisions would mean wild inaccuracies in the results. In addition, we've learned that our app needs to be easy to use in order to be accessible. We originally planned to use QR codes or just asking the user for their location in order to determine their initial position. But when we thought about it, this wouldn't be practical for many users. If someone is using an app to navigate a building, especially one on a college campus, they may be someone who's new to the building and isn't sure where they are, and they can't find their way around as easily as a longtime student. So it's important that they are easily able to take a picture in order to determine where they are. That way the app can do the work for them. I'd like to thank you for listening to our presentation and thank you for the opportunity to compete in the hackathon.